you love to play. Oh, you love to play. Don't your comments won't relay. Sign this on my page for you. Oh my God, he changed. Young life, I can't see back karma. I just need some brains so I could keep myself in order.
Game over.
He got problems, she got problems, only I got 411 problems. Hey, hi, what's up, y'all? It's time for another story time. Welcome back to Church Chronicles, and welcome back to Don't Date Them Part 2. So we ended off the last story time in Dexter. I was right. I went back and watched, and I did call out the right name. Dexter was like, so you gonna date Marcus? And I kind of looked at him, I side-eyed him, because I'm like, who said that I like Marcus? Who said that I was interested in Marcus? Why is Marcus the topic of the conversation? And so this is how me and Dexter really got cool, because Dexter was like 100. He was straight up with it. And so he was like, not all men, but majority of us, he was like, it's a competition. So it's more of who gon' get the girl that everybody want. And when I said things like, I'm not Miss America, but baby, I know what I bring to the table. Basically, like, I was like I said, in the church, like and not just in the church, there's just in high school, certain places, even in the work environment, like there's a certain dude or a certain girl, like everybody's eyeing, everybody's looking at, and everybody wants. Because there was even this young man after he had got out of jail that everybody was eyeing. Not me. But everybody, majority, well, not me, not gifted. But most of everybody there was eyeing this young man who had just got out of jail. And Olivia befriended his parents because you thought you was the sure shoe-in for that man, because the man was fine, but they had other plans, and you were not a contender. He was attractive, but it was like baby, I don't know why I can't talk. His parents had already set up like who they wanted him to date. Like they maneuvered to make that go together. They did. I think they still together, actually. I think. But anyway, so yeah, so it was like the stuff that I was saying, like in the story time, was stuff that Dexter was telling me from the group, not the secret society, but like basically like the group in the church at the time. And so it's like, but first of all, baby, I know I'm not ugly. I know I'm not ugly. And people will try to put off where, oh, it's just your body. Oh, it's just because you model lingerie. Girl, before that, motion. So quit playing with me. Anyway, so yeah, and I was like, oh, so because y'all had like a little competition situation going on, then you thought that like it was like, oh, okay, this is not working, that I'm gonna go over there. And so he was like, well, and I was like, yeah, no, I had no interest in Marcus. Marcus, number one, was not attractive to me, but there was just certain things that he would do, and there were certain things that he would say. He was cool people, but it was just not like, it was just a vibe that I got that just wasn't flowing with me. And this one particular time, like, and he was also in the choir for a while before he went into ministering training, and before he was a helper for one of the leaders. Excuse me. He was in a choir. And so this one particular time, like, we are taking pictures. I wish I had those pictures, y'all. I really wish. I tried to go on this girl's page that I had tagged her in, but with me being the person that tagged her, with me removing the pictures, they're no longer there. But anyway, yeah, it was this one particular girl. I don't remember her name because she's in another story time, and I don't think I gave her a name. But anyway, there was one particular girl, like, we're all taking pictures, like, after service. This is an afternoon service. And we're standing there taking pictures, and while we're taking pictures, this man has his hand on my ass. Like, his hand is on my butt after church while we're taking pictures. And I'm like, because you know how people be like, okay, 1, 2, 3, and on 3 is when his hand cuffed to my ass. And so I was like, but in the picture, I'm smiling because at the, you know, it's like, oh. And then later on, he came and he was like, you know, I apologize. I shouldn't have done that. Like, so it was that. And then it was also, like, you know, when a dudes they hate to hear this, but it's like you trying too hard. And if I told you I'm not interested, stop. Like, just when for a female, like, if you told a female, like, I'm not interested, and she keep coming and coming and coming and coming, like, literally, well, dudes to kind of use that to their advantage, to be totally honest. Dudes are use her. And then there's some girls who use the dudes. But if I'm not interested, I'm not interested. Leave me alone. Let me be. Go on about your business, please. Anyway, so yeah, so it was like that. And then it was like when we would hang out at Bootlicker House, because like I said, Bootlicker fed college students, or he would feed us. It would be certain situations that he would do. There would be certain situations that he would do. So it was like when we was at Bootlicker House one time, and he was like, and I was getting ready to leave, and so he was like, oh, wife, you're leaving, wife, you're leaving. And I've never been that type of person where I feel like I need the wife flex. Y'all do that a lot. And I keep saying, it don't matter if you're married, because a lot of women be like, girl, if you married, you get the Social Security, you get the, sweetheart, if he leaves a living will at a lawyer's office for his side chick, she get that stuff. Y'all love to play Etta James. At last. And old girl was a side chick. Her man made sure her house was paid for. Go watch Cadillac Records. Go watch it. Dude was like, baby, we got to get out this house, because dude had a heart attack. He made sure before he died, her stuff, her house was paid for. She was fine. He had a wife and kids, but her house was paid for. She was fine. So please don't sit here and believe like you may, oh, I could get, baby. If he want to take care of her, he's going to take care of her. He's going to make sure everything is in order for whoever he wants. And a lot of y'all be like, oh, because I'd rather be married and have kids. You know how many married females are single moms? And I'm not knocking marriage. I'm just saying it's a lot of women who use that as a flex and thinking like your whole dreams are going to be made, because that's the BS that they put into us since we were kids. Because you get the baby doll, and once you get the baby doll, they tell you, oh, you're gonna get married, you're gonna have kids, you're gonna have the little white picket fence. They tell you that. They tell you that. It's like different instances. They told it was like my grandparents, you didn't have a choice but to be married, and you had to have children to help run or help pay for stuff, right? And then they really didn't have health care like that. 2, then it was, my allergies is kicking me. 2, once it got to like our age, it was like, oh, we didn't have options for schooling, but y'all do. So go to school, make your own money, because they were controlled by not being able to have education or money or options. You had to marry the rich man, supposed to, or the man who's working so he can take care of you and the kids. Women, now it was, okay, you have options. Go to school, get your own money, and then do the children and the man later. This day and age, men don't want a woman with money. If she got money, she don't want you to have too much. Because he don't want you to have options. He wants you to be able to be controlled. I tell people all the time, I was like, sweetie, I have dated a rich man. I have dated blue collar. I have dated broke. A man is a man. If he's going to treat you right, regardless of his bank account sweetums, he's going to treat you right. If he want to be with you, he's not going to cheat on you, regardless of his bank account sweetums. He will do all that stuff, regardless. Anyway, so yeah, he was like, my wife, and I was like, bruh. And he was like, no. He was cause he had just bought a new truck at this point in time. It was a Jeep Cherokee. It was very beautiful, and I was like, oh, let me drive the Jeep. And I was like, oh, let me drive the Jeep. I'm a country girl. We drive big trucks and all this other stuff all the time. I've driven my friend's F-150 and whipped it. Like, at one point in time, I pulled up on Keish because my friend was like, he was like, come on, let's do a road trip. I missed that. I'm not even going to front. I missed my impromptu friend. It would literally be like, hey, you want to go take a road trip? Early in the morning and we hitting the road. So, I pulled up on Keish one day, and when I pulled up, at this point in time, I think maybe her son may have been, he may have been no more than like 6 months, if that. But I pulled up on her, and so she was like, why your auntie always driving these big these big trucks? I'm whipping his F-150 like, what's up, girl? What's up? Because I had literally saw her, and I went to see Steven, because Steven still live in the city. So I went to see Steven first, and then I went to pull up on her. And so it was like, she was like, girl, so when he had the Jeep, and I was like, ooh, let me drive, because I had never driven a Jeep. You had just bought it. And then also I was flexing. Not even gonna front, because sometimes you have to pull a card, because sometimes heifers be making it seem like, girl, you can't do this, you ain't got no motion on it. Sweetie, watch me. So I wanted to pull, because of course at this point in time, him and Dexter are a hard commodity. And so it's like, and he was like, my wife. And I was like, okay, let me drive the truck and you drive my car. He was like, all right. So I drove his truck. Like, I'm driving the brand new truck. Like, baby, the tags, the paper tags are still on it. You just bought it fresh, brand new, miles under. Baby, when I tell you, when I'm walking out them, ooh, mad. Because, of course, that's what is implemented. Get you a husband. And y'all willing to go above and beyond. Y'all do some crazy stuff to prove a point about a man. Sure. Anyway, so I did flex that day. And so when we pulled up, like, I'm waiting for him, because I didn't even go in my apartment. I'm waiting for him so you can get your keys and you can go on. And so that's when he was like, why you giving me a hard time? And I was like, real talk, Marcus, I'm not interested. We could be cool, but I'm not interested, because he was a cool person. Like, he really was. And so we would have conversations, because he felt like, because I understood certain stuff. And so he was like, you should have went into the military, because he was a military person. And so he was like, you should have went into the military. And I was like, my dad was in the military, and I watched how the military destroyed him and destroyed my family. So, yeah, no. I was like, Like, I was like, and then also me at the time, before even going to therapy and counseling, it was like, baby, ain't nobody gonna be yelling in my face and telling me all kind of things and whatnot. No, I'm gonna take my little tail to school, which I should have took my tail to trade school, because university wasn't for me, because I didn't like papers. I ain't no dumb chick, but I just don't. You don't like what you don't like. You don't like what you don't like. Baby, I don't know why we shooting y'all right now. Anyway, so I was like, I'm just not interested. I'm making it worse. I'm just not interested. I'm not. And I was like, all these girls throwing it at you. Throwing it at you, baby. Catch one. They throwing it at you. Catch one. So he was like, nah, man, nah. And I was like, no, real talk. Catch one. Because you're looking for a wife, number one. And I was like, number two, I had already had the disappointment from Dexter. So, and that's a thing with me. Like, if I'm into you, I'm into you. And when it's over or it's nowhere knowing that it's not gonna work, it's gonna take me a while to be interested in somebody else, because I don't want to play with nobody's feelings like that. I don't know how y'all be jumping from one thing to the next. I don't. But whatever. That's y'all business. I'm gonna mind mine over here. Anyway, so he was like, I understand. He was like, well, we can still be cool. We can still be friends. And I was like, of course. And so he was like, oh, okay, cool. So he ended up starting to date this one girl. And they had been dating for a while. And then they had, like, broke up. So he started dating Pretty Face after him and the girl broke up. So he started dating Pretty Face. Now, before then, there were also other women who felt like, you should choose me. You should choose me. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm a good woman. You should choose me. And they were very hurt and disappointed that he chose Pretty Face. And what was crazy to me also is, I don't know why women don't realize that very pretty girls, very pretty women, they also get bashed and beat up too. Like, a lot of people were saying, oh, it's to be expected because, like I said, she's extremely pretty. It's to be expected. She's the skinny. She's the ideal look. And she was very fair-skinned. Oh, my God. She was very fair-skinned. So, yeah. Baby, I can't breathe. Allergies is... Baby, what happened? She was very fair-skinned. So, it was like, even though from the outside, you see this very pretty girl, very fair-skinned. She could sing, talented, smart. She was extremely sweet. And also, she had been hurt a lot, too. Dudes was cheating on her. Dudes was treating her bad. Like, she went through the same stuff that any other woman go through. Like, her pretty privilege didn't keep her from being hurt. And I don't know why a lot of people think that way. It's like, baby, that don't make you exempt, Schnickle Bunny. That don't make you exempt. But anyway, so yeah. So it was like, he had chose her. And so, a lot of people were upset because it was a huge age difference. She was legal, but it was a huge age difference. And so... This one particular night, Pretty Face came and knocked on my door. She did that a lot. Even after she had moved out of the city, when she would come visit, she would come and knock on my door in the middle of the morning and be like, girl, it's so boring. It's so boring here. It's so boring here. And I'm like, girl, this is not the city that you're living in now. Like, when you go to a certain city and there's always something to do, and you leave like a mid city, and I don't mean like mid like bad. I mean like mid like... At certain times it's popping, but at a certain time everything shuts down. Not too fast, not too slow. And then you have like the country times where 7 o'clock party shut down at 10. Like, but mids is like not too fast, not too slow. Some things are popping, some things is going on. People can still maneuver, but it's just not. It's just certain areas that's really, really popping, and there's certain areas that's not. And then you have the city where everything's busy. Something is always moving. Something is always going on. Somebody is always moving. You can always find something to do. Something is 24 hours, etc., etc. So when she would come visit, that would be her thing. But before she left, anyway, like I said, she knocked on my door, and then I was like, girl, what's going on? And so she was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do the relationship thing anymore. And I was like, girl, what we talking about? What we talking about? And so she was like, let me tell you what happened. Okay, so before I tell you what happened with Pretty Face and Marcus, there was an era, we wasn't dating, we were cool, right? So, and remember I told y'all, like, there was just certain instances that made the decision for me where it was like, I don't want to do this. Number one, I wasn't interested in the beginning, but we would hang out, and I would hang out at his house. And one thing, like, people pay attention to the things that you really love. And then for some women, especially if you're a single parent, you have to watch the people who like, oh, I'm going go after your children, like try to make a relationship with your children, which you should, but watch it. Because it gives out information. Like you have to pay attention to the red flags. A lot of times, and that's the thing too, we see the red flags when it's somebody we're not interested in, and we be like, red flag, red flag. But when it's somebody we like, we see the red flag, we be like, it's just a fan, it's okay, we can change it. We can change it, we can overlook that, that's gonna change. Oh my god. Anyway, like this one particular, like, well, not one particular time, this was during the time we were really cool, right? And like he would call and we would be on the phone for hours. Like we would just be having regular conversations about the military, about the church, about me being a mother. Like he was like, I'm trying to study, so when I become a father, I want to be really good at being a father and being intuitive. And it's like, you can't study me to be a good father, because I'm a whole different female. You're not gonna have a family with me. And so he didn't understand that concept of what I was saying, because I was like, you're not gonna get how you're going to be a father from me. But we were on the phone, and so he was like, where is Ty? At this point in time, like, Ty is maybe, he might have just, he hadn't, I don't even think he was one yet, to be honest. He might have just turned one. No, because one, I moved him to his own room. So Ty wasn't one yet. Ty might have been maybe 7 months, 8 months, somewhere in that era. And so we're talking, and we're on the phone, and we was having a very good conversation. And so he was like, is Tyler on a schedule? Like, how do you go about being a mom? How do you go about balancing? And I'm like, you really don't have a choice. Like, you just do what you got to do. Like, when you get up to go to work, you go because you have to, because you want to pay your bills, because there's a certain lifestyle that you want. Like, I'm a mother. I don't have a choice. Like, I can't just, I mean, we do have a choice. We do have a choice, but you decide to, like, you make it happen when you decide, because it's like, this kid didn't ask to be here, so I decide to be a good parent. As I told my kid, it's a choice, because there are bad parents out there. So I decide to be a good mother. I decide to do what's right and what's best for you to the best of my ability, right? So at this point in time, and I was like, Ty's on a schedule, which my mama had implemented. She was like, put him on a schedule. This is how you do it. This is how you make sure your baby is on a schedule, and how he, and when your baby sleep, you sleep. Like, you get all of that information. I don't know if y'all getting that stuff now, because the village probably a little tired, because I've seen a couple of TikToks where they're like, the village tired, because when we tell y'all not to do something, y'all do it, and then when y'all in the situation, then y'all be wanting help, and it's like, no. So I don't know. I don't know if y'all got the village. I got the village. I got the, you keep the baby up with a cold washcloth, and you keep rubbing that on the baby face so the baby can stay up to a certain time, and then you change the diaper, you make sure they got a bottle, and then you let them sleep. So, and that time, bedtime has been 8, 9 o'clock for a long time. For a long time. Not now, because he's a grown-ass man, but it has been 8 and 9 o'clock for a long time. Even when he was a baby and he finally came home, like, my mom was like, this is how you do it. She was showing me and implementing how to start a schedule. And he literally would go to sleepy 8:39. You are bathed, you bottle, diaper change, sleep. And Ty slept till like 1:30. And so we were on the phone, and so for a long time, and so he was like, so what time, like, Ty, does he sleep all night? Does he get up? And I was like, oh, he wakes up at like 1:30, and he gets the bottle, he gets the diaper change, and he goes back to sleep, and he sleeps till 7:30, 8 o'clock. And so he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah. And so literally while we on the phone around 1:30, Ty was like, did his little whimpering. I got up, like, we're still on the phone. I got up, changed his diaper, gave him a bottle, burped him, put him back down. He went back to sleep, and he was like, oh wow. Like, I just think that's so interesting. We was on the phone for a long period of time. And so after that, I had went and hung out in his apartment, and this was like the nail in the coffin for me. I had went and hung out in his apartment, and so it was more of like he was holding Tyler and he was playing with Tyler, and then it was all of a sudden there was this switch, because Tyler was like sitting, like playing, he was playing with him on the sofa, and I'm sitting not in the chair. I think I was sitting on his coffee table. I might have been sitting on in the love seat, not the love seat, but the like the single chair. And there was this switch because like Tyler was playing, and then he was like, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. And so, and then Tyler wouldn't like sit down because you were just playing with him. And then he was like, you hear me? Sit down. And like he slapped Tyler's head. He was like, sit down. And Tyler was like, huh, and gave me a look, because now, you know, like he was like, you know, like it was like this switch. And so he was like, see, you just got to give them discipline. And I was like, don't hit my kid for no reason no more. And he was like, no, I just want to see, like you were literally trying to study like the behavior, like it was an experiment to you. And I was like, don't do that to him anymore. And for me, that was the, girl, you're right. Girl, you like, you, when you listen to people talk, you hear it. Like it tells you, like it tells you, run. No, this is not what you should do. Don't pursue this. Red flag, my love. No, 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 no. But yeah, so it's like, don't do that anymore. And so, of course, now babies, of course, are very intuitive, especially when they fresh out, pure, and the world hasn't jacked them up. Ty felt your energy, so Ty got down. Like Ty don't even want to be around you. Like Ty is on. Like Ty climbed into my lap, right? And so it's like, yeah, mama feel you. So I'm like, yeah, so we gonna go ahead and go. And so he was like, oh, you feel away? Oh, you feel away? And so, of course, anywhere, I can't speak for everybody. Somebody who's been through a lot of trauma, you don't use that as an excuse. If you've been through horrible trauma, like dead ass, it's not an excuse. It's a warning. Like the spidey senses stuff be going off. And so you find yourself in survival mode. So it's like, okay, let me. And I was like, no, it's cool. It's just, I'm ready to go. He was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you know, see you later. You know, I'll talk to you later. Uh-huh. Like, yeah, it's a no for me. Okay. So months later, when you are after the girlfriend and you are deciding to date again, you start dating Pretty Face, and you and Pretty Face are going strong as far as I know. And Pretty Face shows up, and then she says she can't do it anymore. And I was like, girl, what's going on? So, well, lo and behold, she was like, the old women are dragging me. The people are giving me a hard time about the age difference and telling me like I shouldn't do it. And I was like, well, are you having a good time? And so she was like, it was cool until the ex-girlfriend is bamming on the door and bamming on the windows. She popped up on us. I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Run it about me again? She was like, the ex-girlfriend popped up, bamming on the door. She was like, Angel, like, she was going crazy, like, let me in, on the door and on the windows. I know she in there, let me in. So I said, Pretty Face, I ain't even trying to be funny. But no woman acted crazy like that for no reason. And I ain't there. Okay, fellas, I'm gonna be fair. Now there are some you be like, okay, it's over, and some women don't want to let go. But this girl been quiet. Your ex-girlfriend has been quiet. Like you, when they first started dating, like she wasn't showing up, she wasn't tripping, she wasn't nothing. Far as I know, cause Pretty Face didn't say nothing. Cause again, back to the conversation, I asked, girl, like, has it been like he giving off like we really not into this, like I'm playing with you like you a space saver? Because men do that too. Men do where it's like a space saver, or you know, like I'm mad with her right now, so I'm gonna come over here and chill with you until this get back together. Or you know what I'm saying, like, oh yeah, we broke up over here and that's over for 2 weeks, and then them 2 weeks I'm real heavy over here, but it's like, oh yeah, let's work it out, so I'm gonna go back over here. They do that, right? So I was like, has he been doing? She was like, no, like it really, it has been like a solid situation. Far as I know, like it hasn't been nothing for her to be like popping up until like here today. Today. And I was like, yeah, she not popping up for no reason, boo. And I was like, and you just gonna have to decide, is it worth it? Like, and again, there are some women who are like, yeah, like I'm cool with it. I'm cool with, like, we can work through this and we can rebuild and we can go together and figure this out from here after this mistake or whatever. And then there's some women who like, yeah, that's not for me. And I was like, you have to figure out and do what's best for you. And I've been telling people for a long time, you're going to have a real conversation with yourself. Because that's not nothing I don't even tell myself. You're going to have to be real with yourself, boo-boo. Be real with yourself about this situation. What are you looking at? What are your options? What is the end goal? Real talk. You can cover up a lot of stuff, but that truth going to continually slap you in the face. Continually. She was like, yeah, you're right. So she was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. So they end up breaking up. And maybe like, I want to say 2 weeks. I really think it was less than that. But I'm going to give him a month. The girlfriend was back. They were back together. And so when they walked in together, Pretty Face kind of caught me a look. And, she kind of shook her head. She was hurt about it. And kind of, it was like, it's whatever. Because as I said, just because you are extremely beautiful don't mean you don't have men problems. Don't mean you don't get dogged out. Don't mean you don't get cheated on. Don't mean you don't get done wrong. That does not guarantee a beautiful, successful relationship. I don't know why people think that. I don't. Anyway. So, yeah. So, it was like, that's weird. But whatever. Anyway, I moved out of the city after you have to do the In Love with the Same Man series. It's in Church Chronicles somewhere. I moved out of the city, and of course, Dexter, Marcus, everybody is still on my Facebook. And there are times it's not on there now because I removed all that stuff. But there were times where I'm going back and forth because one of the leaders don't pay no child support, and I'm trying to embarrass you. Until I got the realization that you like this. Like, you like this. Because most of the time, his members who was so happy-go-lucky on his team him, they was, girl, if he not paying child support, why his license not suspended? Go to that series because that license was suspended a lot. And you can go pull that up because it's public record. Bitch. Because it was one main one going hard. His license will be suspended. They were suspended. Anyway, they were suspended a lot. And then it was, oh, you just want attention. Oh, you just mad that he didn't marry you. Whole time, old girl got her own relationship, had a couple of relationships, and even had a kid that passed away. R.I.P. Justin. Even had a whole little baby. Whole girl now had, True be told, had a couple of miscarriages, to be honest, that a lot of people didn't know. So, and anyway. Yeah, so I'm like, but on that era, I'm gonna get to it. Marcus would basically be in my because at the time it wasn't called Messenger. It was called I think it was called just DM. It wasn't called DM, I don't think. It was called DM. What the heck was it called? I think it was just called Inbox. I can't remember what it was like with Facebook. But anyway, like you could send messages. So Marcus would be like, why are you doing that? Like what is the end goal? Like I told y'all, he felt like he was a little superior. He was extremely intelligent, but still. And so he was like, what's the end goal to do this? Like, are you trying to embarrass him? Because the only person that look bad is you. And the truth be told, like when he said that, I was like, you know what? You're right. You're right. I said, because the people that enable him, they're not telling him like, why you not? They're not looking at him like, why you not taking care of your kid? Why you not paying child support? It's I'm because he would go on other people's pages and I'm Tyler's father. I'm Tyler's father, and she lied. She tricked me about being on birth control. Bitch, no, the fuck I did not. I did not. Did not. But you failed to tell them people how I wanted to get an abortion. Failed to tell the people how I wanted, like, at one point, before I moved, I was like, hey, you can take the baby. And your mama said, find out what's really going on. Anyway. So I was like, you're right. And I had made a status and I was like, from this day forward, I won't even bring this up on here no more. Because it had got to the point where I had realized and noticed you liked it. Like, you liked the attention. And so you stopped paying. And it was like, as long as I'm breathing, sweetheart, my baby gonna be good. And I didn't give it anymore. Like, I didn't give it anymore. You want to keep seeing a clown, attend the circus. Stop going to the circus, baby. Stop going to the circus. Remove yourself. So I removed myself completely. So I had noticed, like, how, because there was at point in times when me and Dexter had stopped talking, and then he had came back around, and he was saying how, you know, you was trying to be a good friend to me, and I just didn't realize it, and I messed up some relationships, and I just want to be cool again. And it was like, but at this point in time, like, he was getting married. He was getting married, and I was like, oh, okay, so when's the wedding? Like, because I was going to attend the wedding. He was like, oh, it's a private affair. Like, no, everybody can't come. And I was like, oh, okay, well, congratulations. Left that alone. And then, so I noticed how, when I would make certain statuses, how Marcus, like, the vibe changed. And I was like, because he would say, like, little slick under my statuses, like, under my statuses, he would make little slick comments. And I was like, what? And so Keisha let me know. Keisha was like, girl, you know he back at that church. Now, sir, you had left before and realized all the other stuff, but I realized, and I was like, you know what? Sometimes people have to learn from themselves. So you went back, and you was back at the church for a little while, and then he shitted on you and your wife, because at the time you married the ex-girlfriend. So he shitted on you and the wife. And after he shitted on you and the wife, you came back in my messenger. At this point in time, it might have been messenger now. I don't know. Anyway, you came back in my messenger, was like, you know, I totally understand. I totally understand now your perspective. I'm so sorry. Blah, 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 wah, 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 wah. Anyway. But I said all that to say this. After one of the leaders had did you dirty and y'all didn't agree or whatever, you left. You know, you was no longer there. And then you wanted to be cool with me again. Negro, please. Anyway, so yeah. And I ignored the message. And after I ignored the message, that was the last time I ever heard from you. But it was like, I made the right decision. And that is the conclusion of Don't Date Them. I love you the most because you're definitely the dopest in real life. And I'll see you in the next one.
Oh, good heavens. Oh, good God, he's at it again. Yeah. Hit that bit with a game over.